I think people fear changing their mind because no one has ever given them the permission to do that. What I say in my book is that intimidation led to fear. Fear resulted in ignorance in future generations. Once the Christian church once the spiritually powerful early church became the materially powerful imperial church, those with mixed motives got into positions of leadership. And when that happened, one of the things they like to do is push forth power. And so if I want power over you, on this earth, I can threaten you with punishments and death, and I can threaten your family, all that kind of stuff. That's one thing. But if I can extend that power into the world to come, that's almost absolute power. That's phenomenal power. And so unfortunately, what the church ended up doing was coming to that conclusion that, following Augustine really, that those who didn't make professions of faith in this life, or were not baptized, or whatever the right thing to do, depending on your particular group was, that those people would suffer consciously forever in hell. Well, that was intimidating people, right? I'm intimidating you by thinking, if you don't do this, you're going to be in hell. Well, that led to fear that, wow, I better be very, very careful, because if I make the wrong step, I and maybe my family will end up in hell forever. So I'm not going to talk about it. And so they never talk about it to the next generation. That next generation becomes ignorant of what the arguments are. And I know when I first started to pursue this, my wife came to me and she said, "George, do you realize what you're doing here? I mean, do you realize nobody believes this?" And I had to kind of wrestle with that to think, well, that's okay. If it's true, I'm going to pursue it. If it's not true, then I won't. And I was so grateful that my wife was willing to follow along with me, and we made that journey together. But it's a very intimidating thing when you're the only person that you know that believes this, and everybody else is willing to dump on you. I mean, my wife and I had been an active part of a church for 20 years. Our children grew up there. We were active. I had been an elder in the church for a while. When, by the way, I had mentioned to the pastor when I first got there, I gave him a copy of my paper on ultimate restoration, and his response was, "Just don't talk about it," which was okay. But anyway, when some people heard that I was writing a book, one of the elders called me up, and we met together, and it was clear that I could not continue as part of the church because of my belief. I could attend, but I couldn't be a member anymore. That happened actually just a few months ago with another church that I was a part of, that they made it very clear that this is not an option that you can have in this church. And so that intimidates people. And once that happens, it makes people very fearful of stepping out, because I lose my friends, I lose my church home, possibly my reputation, depending on what people think. And so it's a very fearful thing for people to make that kind of a change.